man who delivers. He's simply the best. Our Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Ingraham.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I'll ever get.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Marathon? FNMs? Bahamians everywhere. The House of Assembly we elected 5 years ago has finished its work. It passed into law Freedom of Information Act, took back, clawed back 6,000 acres of land the PLP gave in marijuana and sold for a penny on the dollar to foreigners. We approved a resolution to give title to land to 68 families in South Andros. These families have been seeking to get this land on which they have built their homes and businesses for more than 45 years. Despite the fact that the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, was also their MP. They failed to deliver this land to these people. During the life of this Parliament, we passed 212 pieces of legislation, as compared to 141 by them when they were in office last time. We answered all questions asked by them. We're not leaving behind 64 unanswered questions like they did when they left office. Like I never tire telling you, we are different, distinctly different. We deliver in the FNM. Now you remember that they declared their party to be the new PLP in 2002. At that time, they wanted to de-emphasize any connection to Sir Lyndon Pinling and his administration. They treated him then like some people in earlier uninformed times used to treat their disabled children when visitors approached their homes. Boy, get in the room and lock that door. You can't see company coming to this house. They didn't believe Sir Lyndon was fit to be held up to the public at that time. That's why they were rebranding themselves, reinventing themselves. They won that election. Then after the public found out who they were, they lost. They know the people are not now with them. Once bitten, the Bahamas is twice shy of the PLP.
All right.
Now that they are unpopular, they've gone to try and repackage Sir Lyndon Pinling. They went down to South Andros the other day. They even tried to bring him back to life. They put his picture on the podium as if he's a candidate. Then they played a recording of him speaking. They said they were celebrating his birthday. Well, while they were in office, Sir Lyndon had birthdays too, you know. In 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, he had birthday every one of those years. Did they celebrate them then? Now they're out of office, getting no traction. They go down to South Andros to invoke his name and celebrate his birthday. Now, amongst the things Sir Lyndon Pendleton said from the grave was the following, because he did speak to them. He spoke to them from the grave, and he told them this. He said, every fisherman will swear by the Defence Force in protecting our fisheries resources. And Southern Islands in particular will swear by the Defence Force for protecting them against massive infiltration of economic refugees. The Defence Force is a development institution which will continue to play a vital role in search and rescue at sea and in natural disasters on land. That was the end of his quote from the grave. Now, and I want to say this because it's Easter time, but I want to be very careful how I say it. They tell me in the land of Obeah, if you ever call the dead up, you better know how to get the dead back in their grave.
Alexander Ingram, he is the man. FNM in position, PLP opposition,
Because we can't get him back in before day clean, he will haunt you for the rest of your life. And many a person have gone dead crazy as a result of that. Now, how do you think Sir Lyndon must feel seeing that when his party was in office, this Defence Force he created, they failed to get a single new sea vessel for the Defence Force? That today the Defence Force vessels comprise only those Sir Lyndon bought while he was in office, and they're only limping now, and those bought on my watch, the FNM watch. Not a single one purchased by Perry Christie. Soon we're going to put our plans to increase the Defence Force fleet in place. I also want to tell you that we are now doing a renewal of the Bahamas Air aircraft fleet. It received the first of 3 new jets yesterday. The second jet is going to come in May, and the third one before the end of the year. Because Bahamas Air are going to tourist business now.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. Marathon, FNM's Bahamians every year. The PLP consider themselves to be special people with special privileges. I heard them complain. I see Mother Pratt sitting down on the step yesterday. They're now complaining that after we finished our business for which we were elected, that we suspended the House, and they didn't have a chance to say goodbye to their constituents. Well, didn't they know how to find these constituents when they wanted to get elected to the House? How come they can't find them now? Go right back to them same house and say, goodbye, thank you very much. Right back, street by street, house by house. I come to ask you to vote for me, now I'm gone. Thank you very much. For 5 years, they had the opportunity to say everything they wanted to say. Thanks to the FNM, they were able to say that on television. They mustn't blame me if they're late again. Incidentally, I want to tell you something. Mr. Vincent Peat is no longer a member of the House of Assembly. And I'll tell you why. In accordance with the rules of the House, written and put in place by the PLP while they were the government, if a member of Parliament is absent from the House without leave for a period of 90 days, he automatically vacates his seat. Rule 86.5 of the House rules say the following. A member of the House shall vacate his seat in the House if he is absent from sittings of the House for a period of 90 days without leave of absence from the House. The records of the House reflect that Mr. Vincent Peat last attended a sitting of the House on the 30th of November 2011. In accordance with the rules of the House, his North Andros and Berry Island seat became vacant on the first day of March 2012. North Andros and the Berry Islands have no MP.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Color red is on the move.
We will deal with the question of pay from March 1st onwards. I'll take care of that part. Marathon, FNMs, Bahamians everywhere. I'm happy to be in Marathon. On Saturday, God willing, we can be in Foxhill with Chanel Ferguson. I tell you this, Color Red is going to Foxhill and Color Red is picking up Foxhill.
Color red is on the move.
And no, unlike what they said the other night, I don't go around looking for Foxhill girls to run. It just so happened that the only ones in the past 20 years I found to run in Foxhill.
Color red is on the move.
And they're the only ones I won with twice in Foxhill. I want to find out where the real leader of the PLP please stand up. Yesterday, one newspaper reported Perry Christie saying he can double the education budget. Another newspaper on the same day had Fred Mitchell contradicting Perry Christie on his promise to double the education budget from $290 million to $580 million. You know, $500 million got plenty zeros, you know, which is exactly the number of schools Christie built as Prime Minister, exactly the number of boats he bought for the Defense Force as Prime Minister. 0 schools, 0 boats built in 5 years or bought in 5 years. He enjoyed holding the title Prime Minister, you know. He just didn't like the work that came with that job. You think anything different 5 years later? 0 chance of that happening.
Color red is on the move.
But panic is setting in on them, you know. They went down to Exuma last week with a new list of promises. They promised Exuma to build them a new community hospital. I got news for them. The contract for the new hospital to be constructed in Exuma will be signed in Georgetown, Exuma next week, Wednesday, God willing. They also promised Exuma to reconstruct the bridge connecting Little Exuma and Great Exuma. I also got news for them. The contract for that work has also been signed in Georgetown next Wednesday, and I'll be there. And then they promised to undertake some repairs to the Georgetown dock. That work has already been contracted out. As they continue to promise, we continue to deliver. And I tell you this, Exuma is FNM next time. In Exuma, they had very little to say about Ragged Island. I suppose they didn't, because when they touched down on Ragged Island, what they found resembled a little city. The airport with new asphalt paving, new roads everywhere, ZNS on cable, cell phone service, potable water, new defense force base nearly complete. That's what we in the Bahamas in FNM call working for Bahamians and delivering for Bahamians. You know, one Ragged Island man asked me the other day, what could have gotten into my head to spend that much money on Ragged Island? Then he caught himself and said he didn't mean it like that. He was just thrilled the FNM was delivering for his hometown. Marathon and Bahamians everywhere. On Tuesday night, the ZNS transmission went down during some of my remarks in Golden Isles. I want you to know we are upgrading ZNS now, because those watching ZNS tonight will see ZNS with the clearest color it has ever had. New equipment in town, ZNS is on the roll. And we made the PLP pay the bill. If you want to play, you must pay.
Who you voted for?
Now, I want to share those remarks with you that I said the other night that didn't get carried on said nest. I talked about the parable of the talents from the scriptures because it has some important lessons. The parable is about the story of the man who left his home to go on a journey. Before he left, he entrusted different amounts of talent or money to three of his servants. When he returned, he asked each of them that he left money to for an accounting of the money. The first two servants explained that they had each put their money to work, doubled the value of it, and were each rewarded. The man told them, "Well done," as they were good and faithful servants. The third servant hid his talent in a hole in the ground. You know what happened to that servant? He was punished for being lazy and slothful. And the man basically told him to pack up his Georgie bundle and go. The Christie government borrowed $800 million. When you came back after 5 years and asked for an accounting of your money, they had very little to show for it. At least the servant in the story gave the man his money back. He didn't sell off almost 10,000 acres of the man's fortune like the PLP sold off in marijuana, and then boastfully and unapologetically said they did no such thing. And so, as that servant was told to take his Georgie bundle and go, Christie, take your Georgie bundle and go.
Color red is on the move.
In the FNM, we are different, distinctly different. As a matter of trust, we've been faithful stewards to the public purse. These are clean hands that will work and deliver for you. Someone recently said that when they drive around New Providence, it looks so modern and so new, they feel like they're overseas. I reminded them, you're right here in the Bahamas. The PLP is to promise you first world. The FNM is delivering you first world and first class.
Papa's got a brand new bed.
Give us another term. You ain't saying nothing yet.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. They just don't get the big picture. That's why Christie let the country run down and did nothing about it. They don't see the big picture because they can't see past their faces and their narrow interests. Jerome Fitzgerald, who's running this constituency, can't see the big picture. When he took the media down to Sanders Beach with a dire prediction that the dredging of the harbor would destroy Sanders Beach, Jerome Fitzgerald was wrong. But Fitzgerald has made a career of being wrong. He actually told Bahamians not to buy shares in new Arawak port, even though he admitted he hadn't even read the prospectus on the offering of the shares. He ain't telling the same thing with City Market shares. Or the movie theater shares. That's what they shouldn't have bought.
Color red is on the move.
This is the same, they call some of the white Bahamians white knights from time to time. When the PLP was in office, Fitzgerald became a part of a company called the Black Knights because they were supposed to replace the white knights. So what's good for him and for his people ain't good enough for you. But that's how they go. He's just the latest example of the all for me baby crowd, the PLP. Different face, same mentality of entitlement and PLP first. Looking at what they can get for themselves. They are the gold rush party, rushing to wheel and deal every chance they get. Nowadays, the biggest cruise ships in the world now dock at Nassau Harbor, bringing tens of thousands of tourists and economic opportunity for straw vendors, hair braiders, tour and taxi drivers, and many others who rely on cruise passengers to make a living. That's possible because we dredge the harbor. Had we listened to Jerome and the PLP, thousands of Bahamians would have had a tougher time during this economic downturn. And they tell you they care about people. Yeah, they care about their people. They certainly don't care about you, about the small man or woman struggle to make a living in this country. Take a look at Sanders Beach now. Not only was Fitzgerald wrong about Sanders Beach disappearing, The new Sanders Beach is now looking better than ever. In fact, the beach is getting better and better because the FNM has vision and does not listen to foolish talk. The whole area is now another beauty spot, yet another recreational space to be enjoyed by thousands of Bahamians, along with Goodman's Bay, Montague, and the Western Esplanade, all upgraded by the FNM for Bahamians during this term in office. You know, Montague is truly a beauty. Please, please come out to Red Splash on Easter Monday. You know, some people complained about the road corridor, the Bay Street was being constructed. And yes, there was some inconvenience, but now you can glide from Carmichael Road to Bay Street and Sanders Beach in minutes. I wouldn't talk about when you come here to Marathon. 5 lanes on either side. Smooth roads. Now, they and most Bahamians are seeing the big picture very clearly. Now they're talking about the biggest infrastructural improvement in history being a disaster. Rubbish. It's a disaster for the PLP because Bahamians have some of the best roads in the region. When we finish, you're getting to work and moving around Nassau and no longer feel like you're running a marathon. It'll be a smooth ride. No thanks to them. Their pathetic record on improving our utilities and roads is a record of callous neglect and absolute abandonment of our needs. Next weekend, you'll be able to ride straight along Prince Charles Drive from Blue Hill Road to Fox Hill Road. And you'll be able to ride on Market Street from Robinson Road straight to Duke Street. When we are done, we can have a modern society. Effective drainage, sidewalks, good lighting will all contribute to easing the traffic congestions for Bahamians. We have beautiful new roundabouts. No, this ain't Florida. We're right here in little old Nassau, brand new Nassau. What's more, thousands of Bahamians, the same Bahamians they claim they care about, will have fresh, clean water gushing from their faucets. Not rusty and not orange water. Water they wash their clothes in. Water they can drink. Don't forget, you know, the PLP voted against the Clean Water Project. But I don't expect Jerome Fitzgerald and PLP to see the big picture. We are transforming this island of New Providence into a New Providence. Let me say a word about the inconvenience that you've had to undergo. Progress is not possible without some inconvenience and some hardship. When the railroad came to America, people didn't like it, you know. Some people didn't like the idea of jet aeroplanes. But the railroads and jet aeroplanes brought new opportunities, an expanding economy, and immeasurable benefits of easier travel to millions. We are making very good progress on surveys of businesses that have been impacted by the road project. We've distributed the survey forms to businesses on the majority, not all the streets impacted. And we've begun to collect completed forms from some businesses. I want to encourage business owners to submit the information, even if not entirely complete, so we can evaluate your situation and determine what assistance can be offered. I want to say that where claims have been submitted and supported, there were reliable documents. We've already begun to extend assistance. Just yesterday, I read a letter in the House of Assembly of thanks, which I received from one such business person along Prince Charles Drive. FNMs and Bahamians everywhere. We cannot become a first world country or platinum nation if we didn't revolutionize our road system and bring our water system to world health standards. This is exactly what we are doing. The PLP is still living in the last century. It's the FNM is building a 21st century Bahamas. It's the FNM is moving the Bahamas into the first world. They are yesterday's news. The FNM holds the promise of tomorrow for all Bahamians. Marathon. This election, you need a marathon woman. Heather Hunt is one of our fabulous female candidates. We have an extraordinary slate of talent, male and female. Our all-star Bahamian talents are also global citizens. Heather is proficient in Spanish, a language she loves and studied in Mexico. She attended COB, has traveled the world as a member of the Bahamas National Youth Choir. She's a lawyer by training, having studied at the University of the West Indies. She also earned a postgraduate diploma in European Community Competition Law from King's College London, United Kingdom. She's going places. I want to help her at the beginning of her political journey. She is tough and she's smart. She has the spirit of public service. She isn't run in order to look after her business interests. The only business Heather is interested in is the business of making things better for you. I need this dynamic young Bahamian woman on the FNM's delivery team so we can continue to deliver for you. Don't fool with Fitzgerald. He mean you no good. FNMs. We poured extraordinary resources into the fight against crime, and we will leave no stone unturned in our law enforcement efforts. Just as our physical infrastructure needs to be transformed to meet the demands of the 21st century Bahamas, we're doing the same thing in our fight against crime. Just like we had to battle the Great Recession without fear or indecisiveness, we are battling crime with the same urgency and fierceness. This is no time, Bahamas, for weak, waffling, or wavering leadership. Our police force, our courts, our crime-fighting technology, and social intervention programs all had to be significantly upgraded at the same time to fight today's criminal class. We've not stinted in this fight. Unfortunately, just as we met the infrastructure of this country in a poor state, after 5 years of neglect by them, we had to make massive investments to beat back the criminal element. But this crime fight will take more than additional manpower, technology, and other resources. It demands strong and decisive leadership. I again pledge to you that I will lead an unwavering fight against crime at every level. I pledge this to you as a husband, a father, and a grandfather. I pledge it to you as a head of a government to be unrelenting in this fight. It is leadership that will make the difference, the critical difference in our fight against crime. I have a clear message to all of those who would complain about receiving advice from whatever source we can get it from. Either you're on the side of law-abiding citizens in the Bahamas, or you're on the side of the criminals. Either you want law-abiding citizens to win, or you want the criminals to win. I report to you tonight that all major crime indicators are trending downward compared to last year. And the no-tolerance policy that includes acting on petty crimes and antisocial behavior is beginning to show some results. This is good news, but we have a long way to go. I want to express, on behalf of all Bahamians, our deep gratitude to the fine men and women of Her Majesty's Royal Bahamas Police Force. We thank them for their valor and for putting their life on the line every day to protect us. I thank the members of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force for their valiant service on our high seas. I pledge to members of the Defense Force and Police Force that my government will give you the manpower, the tools, and provide the conditions of service you need to do your job and keep us safe. I also acknowledge and thank the dedication members of other branches of our uniformed services, customs, immigration, and prison. Daily, these officers work to protect and shield our citizens from those who disregard and flaunt our laws. When someone is attacked or hurt, no one asks first what political affiliation they had, PLP or FNM. The problem of crime is therefore not a political issue. It's a Bahamian social, family, and national issue, and we must all fight it. Marathon, our strategies on crime prevention are coupled with creating opportunities and channeling Bahamian youth into constructive activities. Over the weeks ahead, in our manifesto, the FNM will offer the ambitious agenda of social intervention policies, the most ambitious agenda and social intervention policies ever in the history of the Bahamas. Tonight I wish to announce that our next time we will create a Parks and Recreation Authority. which should be an independent authority like a straw market and sports authority. The management of historic sites, such as forts and the conservation parks, and protected marine sites, including our national park system, managed by National Trust, will not be included as a part of the mandate of the new authority. The Parks and Recreation Authority will be responsible for the maintenance and run of neighborhoods, community, beach parks, open green spaces, roadside verges throughout New Providence. To enhance park safety, we'll systematically install closed-circuit television. Through the Public Arts Project I announced earlier this week, these parks will feature the creativity of Bahamian artists. The new authority will have a broader mandate in keeping these parks clean, green, and pristine. They will be able to enter into public-private partnerships with churches, neighborhood groups, corporate citizens, to facilitate family and youth programs in areas such as fitness and wellness, sports and athletics, and the arts and environmental awareness. We want to especially encourage, through this new authority, traditional Bahamian play and games with areas reserved for children, to shoot marbles, spin tops, kite flying, ring play, and hopscotch. There should be areas in our parks where retired seniors can gather to talk, exercise, play dominoes, or chess. Young people should be able to gather in a safe park environment for poetry, jams, step competitions, and other life-affirming measures. We must demonstrate your tough-mindedness to defeat hardened criminals and discourage potential criminals. And we must also have the nurturing spirit which will provide our young people with alternatives to violence and criminal enterprise. We will seek to control bad behavior and support good ones, so that to change the criminal mindset of the minority who seek to harm our way of life. Your FNM does see the big picture. Our goal is a platinum nation, with the best facilities and public services in the region, from top-notch Royal Bahamas Police Force, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, to a more efficient public service, modern infrastructure, and beautiful, well-kept recreational facilities. To achieve these goals and to advance our economic recovery and growth agenda, I ask for your support. I pledge to you to be honest, hard-working, and provide decisive leadership. I offer you on behalf of the Free National Movement the talent of a team that will deliver for you. We will not bury our heads in the sand or bury our talents as they did. I saw on this morning's Guardian headline that says we are in a dead heat with the PLP. The headline says one thing. Then when you read the story, it says something else. They can slice and dice all they want. The numbers show color red is ahead.
Color red, color red, color red is on the move.
The newspapers got their numbers. We got our numbers and we got the PLP number. All the numbers say the same thing. Red, red, red.
Color red, color red, color red is on the move.
We are ahead in votes, ahead in enthusiasm, ahead in support, ahead in energy. Support coming from the FNM, and support coming from many who've never voted FNM in the past, is very strong. Bahamas and Bahamians are fired up and ready to vote. Papa knows that. Just after Easter, we'll have something to say. Soon and very soon thereafter, rubber will hit the road. And the Egyptians you see now, you will see no more. Marathon FNMs, Bahamians everywhere. When election comes, I ask you to vote for Heather Hunt, to vote FNM. We have the better record in healthcare and education, the better team to deliver clean and transparent government. You have the better vision for jobs and economic recovery. You have the better programs and policies for developing our children and our young people. We most definitely have the better leadership to fight crime and bring greater peace to the land. Don't forget Perry's law. The more he promises, the less he will deliver. Thank you and good night.